All right, so if you're getting thousands of views, but your bank account does not reflect it, you are sitting on a literal gold mine by not monetizing, and you should probably consider changing some things around. So in this video, I'm going to break down exactly how to do that, exactly, why you're probably doing it wrong in the first place, and then just how to fix all of that for you. So after helping multiple people with this, I've discovered that they've already done most of the work by having the experience, by knowing what to talk about. They just don't have the right systems around content and acquiring leads the right way to turn that expertise into actual cash flow. So I'm going to show you exactly how to do that in the next 5 minutes. And so the real problem in the first place, though, to point this out, is that you have the attention probably without the actual monetizations. You don't have systems to actually convert. You don't have any strategy when it comes to your funnel, moving people from point A to point B, from taking them from someone that barely just knows you to knowing everything about what you do, who you've helped, to get them to basically like, know, and trust you. And so at the end of the day, you're missing the different conversion systems that you need to make that happen. And you have a lack of actual follow through with these prospects. And so getting right into the solution framework, the missing pieces that you have in the first place are: number one, strategic content ecosystem that basically makes it so every piece of content that you put out is pushing leads one step closer to making that purchasing decision. Number two, you don't have a multi-level content strategy. You are most likely just posting for the viral hits, for getting the attention, but you haven't thought about it, and you haven't reverse engineered how to create content that actually brings in customers. And number three, you are most likely letting most leads slip through the cracks by not having a targeted retargeting system in place and not running proper ads needed. And number four is one that I would hope are not missing out on. But if you don't have appointment setting processes in place, then you are most likely missing out on 95% of leads that you could be booking on calls and having conversations with if you're not doing it. And so to break this down piece by piece, we'll start with piece one, which is strategic content ecosystem. And so the way that we're going to break this down is the trust funnel approach. And so this is all about having content posted with actual intention, having value with direction that actually shifts beliefs, and gaining attention with the purpose of actually converting this attention into cash flow, into clients acquired. And so the implementation steps for this first piece right here is going to be: define your offer clearly. Right, we're going to reverse engineer. We're going to work backwards here. Next, it's going to be to map your customer journey. Right, basically the way to think about this is when someone comes in the door and they first see your face, what is that journey of going from that stranger, or you being the stranger, to being their coach or being their mentor or being their business consultant? Whatever it may be, you need to map that out based on your offer, based on the type of content you can create. Map out how long it would generally take for them to get there. How much content do they need to consume? And as a general rule of thumb, you can use the 7-11-4 rule by Google, which states that a average consumer needs to spend 7 hours consuming your content across 11 different touch points on 4 platforms to even consider making that purchasing decision with you. And so number 3 is going to be to create content that actually guides viewers. This is about shifting belief. This is about moving them to the next stage in your funnel without them even knowing, just by simply consuming more content. Number 4 is going to be build systematic conversion path, right? So this looks like getting the appointment setter. This looks like setting up the retargeting ads. This looks like having a proper link in bio, everything like that. And now piece 2, moving to having a multi-level content strategy. We're going to break down the different layers of your funnel with content, because the way that you want to think about content to actually acquire different clients is that you have a funnel within your entire funnel. Right? Content itself, your personal brand, should be treated as a funnel within your overall funnel, right? So first of all, obviously we have the top of funnel, right? The purpose of this is for awareness and reach, bringing new faces in the door. The format, generally for organic, generally for bringing in the most faces as possible, is short form, right? It is entertaining people. It is getting the most attention as possible. And the goal is obviously maximum visibility. Examples of this is having, viral hooks in these videos, using trending topics, stuff of this nature that isn't exactly going to just attract clients that are just ready to go, but you need to have that audience base. You need to have the people to nurture in the first place, and you need to bring them in the door to then send them to these next 2 layers in the funnel, which I'm about to get into. Next, we have the middle of funnel, right? The purpose of this is education and trust. They need to know more about you. The format for this is now stepping into more long-form content, right? More longer videos that they can sit down for a longer amount of time and consume that content. It can still also be short form content that's a bit more niched, is a bit more targeted. It may get less views, but they're higher quality views, right? And so generally, though, we want to utilize long form content here to hit that 7 hours of consumed content spent with every single lead. And so the goal here is for relationship building. And examples of this can be case studies, tutorials, processes, things like that are all tailored to your offer. Now getting to the bottom of funnel, the purpose is simply conversion and action, right? So this is direct, this is specific. This is stuff like retargeting ads. This is stuff like a short form reel on Instagram that's just going over a client case study. This is YouTube videos just going over a client case study, walking them through a sales process, basically treating it like a VSL. And so the point of this entire thing is to have all of these different aspects dialed. What a lot of people do is they'll only do this, right? And they'll just get views. They'll go viral, they'll become an influencer, and they won't make any money, right? Their business won't actually reflect the amount of views that they're getting. Or they'll just do this, right? And they will get no views. They won't reach enough people because they're not treating it like a funnel, and they're not bringing people through that funnel and nurturing them, which is what we have to be doing. And so now at piece 3, we have the retargeting system, something that a lot of people are not capitalizing on. And so this is kind of like the invisible conversion machine. This is leveraging existing attention, retargeting people that, you just hand this to Meta and you basically just say, hey, go target the hottest quality leads, the people that have engaged the most, the people that are most likely to buy from me, and just retarget them with this ad set. But this is reinforcing your message, and this is accelerating that trust building by reaching more people through paid acquisition. And so the implementation steps is to have things like, tracking pixels, create the custom audiences that you need to retarget people that have already interacted, and then develop your ad sequences, have stuff like different ads tailored at, hitting and targeting different people at different levels of awareness that might be skeptical of different things. For example, authority ads, people might question the authority that you have, the credibility that you have. So make ads targeting those exact people to wipe out the skepticism. Case study ads, people might think, oh, has he even worked with people? Does he have proof of concept? And so wipe out that skepticism right there. And offer ads. People might not know what your offer even is. They might really like you, but they're like, I don't even know what this guy does, how exactly he can help me. And so they need to know that. Think about this like you're wiping out every single question that they could have on that sales call. So it's a lot easier process. There's less questions and they're just ready to go. That is the entire motto of this entire system throughout this entire doc right here in this entire video. And so we're basically just optimizing for conversion. So now moving on to piece 4, we have the appointment setting processes, which is really the missing link. And bridging between the content and sales. It is the, also the qualification process and a very, very good conversion mechanism. And overall, it's going to be what grabs you the most leads that slip through the cracks that you didn't even see, that no one even really knew about, just by having an appointment setter in place and reaching out to every single lead that comes across your personal brand. And so the implementation steps is to have a booking system, of course. How else are you going to book these people? Develop what that qualification process looks like for you. Train an appointment setter. And implement these follow-up sequences. Just have this all systemized is basically the takeaway. And so now with the complete system, an overview how it all works together. Content attracts the attention, the funnel builds your trust, retargeting reinforces your message, setter books your qualified calls, and your sale process actually converts, right? And so now a case study to show you guys of how we actually made this happen for a client of ours. This is Dyson Allen. And so before implementing this, he was basically posting kind of random content with no strategy. It was the same messaging for everyone, a bit lower quality leads and inconsistent results. But after implementing this, we were easily hitting over 150,000 views per month on Instagram alone. We had a predictable sales process. We had warmer leads, better quality leads, and we actually scaled when it comes to revenue from 30K a month to 90K a month in less than 2 months after implementing this system right here. And so now the implementation timeline, if you're watching this right now and you just want to jump straight in and start implementing this, start turning your views, turning your engagement into actual cash in your pocket and customers. The way to look at this is that week 1 is your foundation. This is mapping that out. This is building the strategy development to the funnel, setting up how you're going to track all these results so it's predictable, everything like that. Week 2 is aligning content with that structure, right? So having the top of funnel optimized for reach, having the middle of funnel optimized for teaching people more about you, giving more value and nurturing, and the bottom of funnel content developed to actually convert, to show them more about your offer and get them to like you more and trust you more. Week 3 can be the conversion systems. This is having the retargeting campaign set up, having an appointment setter that is a killer in place, and having the sales scripts and everything like that. Just the entire process is all dialed in and running. Week 4, you can treat this as the optimization, analyzing the data, refining your systems, and then scaling as you go. And so action steps, if you're jumping into this right away this week, audit your entire strategy of content. What are you doing now? Does it align with what we talked about in this video? Map that customer journey. How would the average person go from being looking at you as a stranger to that coach, that mentor, that consultant, whatever it is, like I was saying. Install, pixels for ads. This is optional if you really want to track it well, depending on how hard you go on ads. And then create those retargeting audiences to launch that campaign. And in the next 30 days, develop the top of funnel, middle of funnel, all the different content, launch your retargeting campaign, implement the appointment setting, and track and optimize to make sure you have that predictability and that it's all working out. And so if you made it this far in the video and you just want to get this rolling right away as soon as possible, and you're ready to turn views into revenue like we've been talking about, you can also book a call below with me one-on-one, where I'll basically break down your entire strategy right now, your funnel right now. I'll audit what you have going on, see if there's any room to optimize, see if it makes more sense for me and my team to just step in and handle most of this for you, and basically give you a custom roadmap on monetizing, on reaching the right audience, and overall just making more money so that you can, stop leaving money on the table and start converting attention into actual income. But that wraps up for this video. See you guys in the next one.